What's going on, everyone? Today is March 27th, 2023. In today's video, we're going to cover an event that occurred in Nashville, Tennessee earlier today, where 7 people are dead, including the shooter, 3 of whom students at a school called the Covenant Presbyterian School, again in Nashville, Tennessee. In this video, we're going to be talking about the language of Gematria, which is the practice and observation of the alignments between numbers and the alphabet that we speak. On the screen here, you're looking at the most basic cipher, ordinal, and in this cipher, the words simple, English, and Gematria all sum to 74. This is essentially the name of the practice, Simple English Gematria. Now, the last time I made a video on a school shooting, it got deleted, and I just want to be clear. I'm just sharing fascinating synchronicities and coincidences, and if you are to determine something is fishy or suspicious about this event, that's on you. I'm just going to talk about once again, the things that really interested me. And this is what we do on this channel. We talk about synchronicity in the news and in our lives. So let's talk about this news story from Nashville, because once again, this occurred at a school called the Covenant School. And here's the Wikipedia page about the shooting from earlier this morning. Next month, it just so happens that there will be a film, a major motion picture with a budget of over $50 million called The Covenant, which is written and directed by producer Guy Ritchie. And in fact, the film is called Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. What I find fascinating about Guy Ritchie is that when you take his full name Gematria, Guy Stewart Ritchie, and drop it in the calculator, you'll notice a value of 208 using the reverse alphabetic order. What you're looking at here are what we call the base 4 ciphers in Gematria. The ordinal method in the top left is where we began. The reverse method in the top right flips the alphabet backwards, so Z is 1, Y is 2, all the way through A is 26. The reduction methods then take both of these ciphers and reduce each double-digit number to a single digit by adding the 2 digits together. So for instance, O, the 15th letter, 1 plus 5 becomes 6. In reverse, O is the 12th letter, and 1 plus 2 equals 3. So when you take all the letters and add them up, Guy Stewart Ritchie equals 208 in reverse. This is the same as the ordinal Gematria of Nashville, Tennessee, 208. You'll also notice that Guy Stewart Ritchie sums to 80 in reduction, and this shooting was at the Covenant School, which equals 80 in the reverse reduction method. Let's check out the alphabetic order, where the Covenant School sums to 199. Measuring from Guy Ritchie's last birthday on September 10th to the date of this shooting is 199 days. In the reverse ordinal method, the phrase school shooting also equals 199. In numerology, 199 is what we call a prime number, which is a number that's only divisible by 1 and itself. So you'll see here at my website, gematrinator.com, 199 is the 46th prime number. Notice how the Covenant sums to 46 in the standard reduction method, also called Pythagorean Gematria. The Covenant equals 46. Just like Nashville, Tennessee, when abbreviated, where the shooting occurred. The film The Covenant is about events that occurred during the war in Afghanistan. And notice how Afghanistan also sums to 46 in reduction. The word sacrifice, also 46 in this method. So let's look at the primary date numerology for this event. March 27th of 2023 has what we call primary numerology of 73. 3 plus 27 plus 20 plus 23. In reduction, the Covenant School equals 73. The Covenant School is a Presbyterian church that it belongs to. Presbyterian is 73. Nashville, Tennessee, also 73 when written out. And once again, this sacrifice number, which was 46 in reduction, also gives us a 73 in ordinal. The phrase ritual sacrifice, also 73 in reduction, a number I talk about quite frequently on this channel. But something else that sums to 73 is the phrase solar eclipse. We are currently in a significant period of time between the two great American total solar eclipses, which create an X over the United States. And you may notice that the first eclipse, which occurred in the year 2017, happens to pass directly over the city of Nashville, Tennessee, where today's shooting occurred. This solar eclipse was on August 21st, or 8/21. The Saros series that it belonged to was number 145. And check out how these two numbers are found in the name Guy Ritchie. The name Guy Ritchie sums to 821 in the Latin form of Gematria, formerly called Jewish on the website. This comes from ancient Masonic texts, where it's called Agrippa's Key. So the name Guy Ritchie has this 821, and in reverse, his name sums to 145. Once again, this eclipse over Nashville, falling on 8/21, belonging to Saros 145. This is a number connected to Joe Biden as well, and Biden was very fast to make a statement on today's events, as the Democrats are trying really hard to push laws through that will prevent certain people from accessing firearms. And of course, there's a long history on those actions. You can investigate those yourself. But notice how 145 is a number that's significant to Joe Biden. In the standard form of Gematria, which uses the current 26-letter English alphabet with a numeric structure similar to the ancient Hebrew and Greek charts, the name Joe Biden sums to 145. And when Joe Biden became the president, he was exactly 1,045 sidereal months, or lunar orbits, old. But back to this 8/21. Again, Guy Ritchie, a man who directs this film, The Covenant. Today, a shooting at Covenant School. So the name Guy Ritchie with this 8/21. Well, 821 is a prime number as well. Notice how it's the 142nd prime number. Today's date, or I'm sorry, the release of The Covenant, my mistake. Notice how this movie comes out less than a month from now, April 21st. That date will be 821 days after Joe Biden took office and 142 days before Guy Ritchie's birthday. Again, this movie is about the Afghanistan War, which equals 142 ordinal. And today's shooting had the unique distinction of having a female shooter. We're told that Samantha Hyde is the name of the shooter, which I believe has since been released. Oh, they changed it. All right, that's okay. It's not a big part of this post anyway. But also, 8/21, the date of this eclipse over Nashville, was the 233rd day of the year. The number 1331 sums to 233 in ordinal. This is the English Gematria of Guy Ritchie, 1331. And just yesterday, on March 26th, I made a post about 1331. You may have remembered that Otto Warmbier, the man who died under North Korean custody, was back in the news yesterday, and he would have been 10,331 days old. Otto Warmbier had a birthday that synced up with the gematria of total solar eclipse, 12/12 of 1994, born in Cincinnati, Ohio. And when he died 2 months and 2 days before this eclipse over Nashville, he was 22 years, 6 months, and 7 days old. Well, total solar eclipse equals 202 and 67 in the most basic forms of gematria. So here this comes up again today, because once again, in standard gematria, the name Guy Ritchie gives us this 1331. If you check the links in the description below, you'll see a post I have devoted to the number 1331. Really, truly one of the most significant and fascinating numbers in this study. So let's move on. Guy Ritchie, born on the 10th of September, which in his home nation of England would be written as 10/9. The word shooting has gematria of 109, much like his birthday. But what stands out even more is that he was born in the year 68. When The Covenant is released next month, it'll be exactly 68 months after the eclipse over Nashville. In the Fibonacci method, Nashville equals 608. But the date numerology of that film release, 4 plus 21 plus 20 plus 23, is also 68. Notice how this date will also have 48 numerology. The eclipse over Nashville occurred when Guy Ritchie was 48 years old. Now, the 48th prime number is 223, and this is another important connection in numerology, connected to the moon. So earlier I mentioned how this eclipse belonged to Saros cycle 145, which connects to both Guy Ritchie and Joe Biden. The Saros is a period of 223 synodic months. Of course, now we're in the year 2023, so we're seeing a lot of events pan out in relation to this code. The Saros being 223 synodic months. In ancient Hebrew gematria, the moon sums to 223. The Latin name for the moon, Luna, equals 48 in ordinal. And once again, this all connected to the number 223 being the 48th prime. So if you measure from Guy Ritchie's birthday to the release of The Covenant next month, it falls 223 days after his birthday. If you include the end date, we call this a span, it'll also be 224 days after his birthday. And using the standard alphabetic order, his full name, Guy Stewart Ritchie, sums to 224. Today's shooting also had numerology of 37, 53, and 17. The word shooting sums to 37, 53, and 107 in gematria. The Covenant also sums to 53 and 170. Now in numerology, zeros are ignored, so this 107 and 170 represents the number 17. The word sacrifice also 170. And I point this out again. Remember we mentioned that sacrifice is 73, connected to today's date, the Covenant school, etc. Well, in Latin gematria, sacrifice sums to 206. And if you measure from the date that the mayor of Nashville took office, John Cooper, took office on September 28th of 2019, today is the 1277th day since he took office, and that's the 206th prime number. This is also exactly 3 years and 6 months. And in gematria, the name Cooper equals 36. The Nashville Predators currently have 36 wins. We always see that sports are synced up somehow. The city of Nashville even sits on the 36th northern parallel. I thought it was interesting that the shooter that they said was responsible at first, and you got to wonder how this happens, because when there's a shooting in the local news here, sometimes it takes 2 to 3, maybe even more days to get the name of the shooter out. But here in this event, they released the name of the shooter within a couple hours, and then it turned out the name was wrong. So the first name they gave us was Samantha Hyde, which is 119, matching John Cooper. And the name Hyde also sums to 42. The number 42, also the sum of female, lady, and the much less formal bitch 42. And today is 42 months exactly after John Cooper became the mayor of Nashville. A couple other interesting things about today's event. Taking place at 10:13 through 10:27. We're going to talk about these numbers as well. So by 10:27 is when the shooter was reported dead, killed by police. This in numerology represents 127. And in the alphabetic order, the covenant equals 127. Covenant Presbyterian Church, which is where this school belonged to, also 127 reduction. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 127 in that same cipher. And I point this out because the address of this school happened to be 33 Burton Hills Boulevard. 33. Well, that's an interesting number, particularly for Masonry, as the highest degree of Masonry is said to be the 33rd. And in reduction, Masonry equals 33. So do the words police, secrecy, order, false flag. Again, if you want to make that determination, that's on you. I'm just here to give you the numbers. The number 33 is 11 times 3. And high-level American Masonry traces lineage back to the Scottish Rite. Scottish equals 113. And the number 113 seems to be connected to lies. Look at all these words that sum to 113. Dishonest, not honest, not true, fiction, illusions, disinfo, perjury, not factual, politics, bullshit. It goes on and on. And once again, look at the time that this shooting began, 10:13. Today's event also a span of 1 year and 13 days before the second Great American Eclipse, which is in 2024. Remember Guy Stewart Ritchie, 224. That's pretty much all I have. I just want to glance at the name of this perpetrator again to see if they gave us any other relevant numbers. You won't always find something right away. Here we have 100. At the very beginning of this decode, this was actually one of the first numbers shown. Guy Stewart Ritchie also has matching gematria with Nashville, Tennessee, with 100 there. And you'll see that's something called the S-exception in gematria. The S-exception, or single reduction, is identical to the full reduction form of gematria. The only difference is that we only reduce the double digits once. So think about S, which is normally the 19th letter. 1 plus 9 equals 10. So after one reduction, it still has the value of 10. And using that method, Nashville, Tennessee gives us a 100. So now they say the name of the shooter is Audrey Elizabeth Hale, which intriguingly sums to 100. And also notice this 325. To end this post, we talked about the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. See how Scottish Rite of Freemasonry equals 127 in reduction? Well, in ordinal, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry sums to 325, matching the name of the shooter there, Audrey Elizabeth Hale. Oh, and look at this. In standard gematria, her name sums to 224, which matches Guy Stewart Ritchie, 224. I mean, you could probably find more if you really wanted to. I think we've seen enough. There's a lot of relevant ciphers in Gematria, but I just wanted to highlight the most significant ones, which, again, are based on the standard alphabetic order, the rules of numerology, reduction, and then these extended standard and Latin methods, certainly the most significant outside of the base in Gematria. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, God bless, and we'll talk to you all next time. See ya.